And salute, I appreciate you tuning into the show. We love what we do here, man. We love the perspectives
Right.
and we love debating. And we don't always got to agree here. But that's what I love about having conversations like that. I want to disagree with people. I want to spark that
Mm-hmm.
conversation, and that's exactly what we're going to continue to do. Now, the next conversation, the next topic, the next debate here is, will the Warriors win a game 5 or game 7 road game to beat the Kings? And I guess I'll do the honors to start this one off first. First of all, yesterday, when you reflect back to that game, the Kings' inexperience showed a little bit. I believe they had about 3 possessions to either tie or take the lead, and all 3 of those possessions were turnovers. Shot selection was iffy, shooting way into the shot clock, not establishing ball movement. A lot of ISO towards the end. And the inexperience showed. Even though the Warriors did some dumb stuff on their own, don't get me wrong, the Curry timeout that he didn't have, I think was more so, how can I say, just stupidity. But the youth and inexperience showed on the Kings' behalf. But I do want to give credit why I answer this question. Yes, I do think the Warriors will win game 7. I have this series going 7 games. I think the Warriors' experience is going to continue to pay dividends the longer the series goes. And I got them winning game 7 on the road to beat the Kings. And the reason why the question is worded like that, because they're going to have to win a road game in order to win the series. And I think that road game is going to be in game 7. And I think for me, Steve Kerr and his adjustments have been one of the more underrated things about this dynasty and this run with Golden State. Because we
Absolutely.
know Steph Curry is the best shooter that we ever seen. We know he's a number 1 on the championship level team. We know Draymond Green's impact that doesn't stop the stat sheet, right? We know how well they move the ball and how Andrew Wiggins was the X factor last year on that run. But a lot of people don't talk about the Steve Kerr adjustments from time to time. And
Absolutely.
when they do get in hot water, his adjustments is able to prolong the dynasty and edge out series that are close and tough. And I think what he did in that game 3, you talk about Draymond Green being suspended. That was the blood in the water for the Kings up 2-0 to really, really put the nail in the coffin.
Absolutely.
And Steve Kerr's adjustments, having just realizing he has success with Draymond Green not in the lineup, having them smaller and more spacing because of that. He said, you know what, game 4, I realized we had success with you and Looney not on the floor together. I'm going to duplicate that in game 4, where you're going to come up the bench, and that allows the spacing, that allows us to keep up with the fast-paced, high-octane Kings offense, and we can go score to score while having a defensive guy on both units, not
Mm-hmm.
compromising the defense, right? Because now you're too big, kinda. You got 2 non-shooters, but you have your defenders on that unit, and now you're sacrificing defense in the second unit, and you sacrificing the spacing. So now we just cut it in half, where we have a defensive anchor on both sides, and I think that was smart. And also, Draymond Green and his partnership with Steph Curry on the defensive end, I noticed it. Like, they really work in tandem on defense, and that was evident in that final possession
Yep.
where De'Aaron Fox had the ball. They were down by 1. Everybody was expecting him to take the shot clear. He's the most clutchest player in the NBA this year. In the regular season, he got that award, and they never allowed him to find the angles to get to his spot. So he had no choice but to give it up to Harrison Barnes, who missed a shot. That was textbook defense from Steph and Dre together. And I think they found something. And that's what they needed. The Kings punched them in the mouth. You're down 2-0, defending champs. You're getting run out the gym. But they found something. And I have to give the credit to Steve Kerr. I think they will go on the road in game 7. I think they lose game 5. I think they win game 6. And the one game that they need to win on the road, which is game 7, I expect them to do so with their championship pedigree. So I'm going to answer the question like that.
Listen, man. Championship pedigree is exactly what you just said. How you ended it is exactly where it's at. We talk about a young team, Sacramento team, haven't been in the playoffs, and we know how long. De'Aaron Fox, we know he's a stud, and he got, like you said, he got the award for the most clutch player. But it's a different level of clutch when we talk about playoff. It's a different level of clutch when we talk about a game 7. And I also got Golden State winning a game on the road. One of the worst road teams in the NBA this year, right? They've been horrible on the road, but been great at home. But here's the thing. They've been waiting for the playoffs and they've been waiting for the moment. And when you got to just win one game on the road, I believe Golden State can do it. We talk, like you said, championship pedigree, Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. They got the guys. They got that pedigree. They got that unit. And De'Aaron Fox is the only one that seems to want to really show up consistently for Sacramento. It's a bonus. I don't know what happened to him. Harrison Barnes, who won a championship with Golden State, had a chance to put a dagger in their heart. He can't make the shot. Wide open. That's embarrassing to me, but that's another story. Sacramento is great, man. I think they're great for the NBA. It's a great piece. De'Aaron Fox is another star coming into the NBA, doing it like kind of like the right way, hopefully, where you ain't trying to just pile up mega stars. They building a team over there. I respect it. But Golden State would be too much for them to handle. Just too much. You know what I mean? It's Golden State versus Sacramento. I mean, it really is just like that big. It's Golden State for that whole dynasty of championships with Sacramento, who haven't made the playoffs and we know how long. So it's really like that when you got that game 7, when you got that pressure. All of these great players, I'm talking about all-time great players, put them in a game 7. Watch how they perform. And I mean all-time great. Some of them will have bad shooting performances. Some of them have bad turnovers. The nerves and the pressure of a game 7 is no joke. Golden State already did that. They know what to expect. They know what it's going to feel. Sacramento, no. De'Aaron Fox is that dude. But everybody else, you don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know what's going to happen when they got to deal with that pressure, when they got to deal with that adversity. When the ball comes to your hand like a hot potato and the game 7 and the game is close, Harrison Barnes, this is what you're going to get. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of shot you're going to get. Wide open shot, but can you make the shot? An NBA player with a wide open shot in today's NBA, wide open, no defenders even running at you. Make that shot, bro. They can't make that shot. So at the end of the day, I do got Golden State. I think Golden State, Steve Kerr, Steph Curry will take out Sacramento in game 7, just like you said, cousin.
I'm a little perplexed. I'm
Yo.
I'm a little perplexed, and there is the reason. But this is the reason why. Everything Freddie said was accurate about the Warriors. The team is a dynasty. For years on and years in, they had the players accrued who had this veteran leadership, who had the savvy, the nose when they're rattled and their nerves are shaking to lock in, win the game they need, and win championships. We've seen it time and time again. But the reason why I'm perplexed is this is a different Warriors team than we're accustomed to seeing in years past. An argument, this could probably be the worst year out of their entire dynasty because of their inability to win road games. They went 0-2 in Sacramento in the playoffs. And it just went 2-0 in their home because despite them being a horrible road team, they're one of the best home teams, if not the best home team in the NBA this season. I'm not sure how to really go with this because of like the beam is crazy. Sacramento, that arena is loud. We're talking about louder than Golden State when they first started going to playoffs. They're louder than Oracle Arena. And it seems to rattle the younger guys of the Warriors team. This Warriors team no longer has a Sean Livingston, Leonardo Barbosa, David West. The list goes on and on. Iguodala playing. The list goes on and on of the veterans they had to lean on to really get them to where they wanted to go to. And now they're putting that same faith in Gary Payton, in Kuminga, in Moses Moody. These are guys who are not accustomed to holding the weight of being the role player that they need to be for this team to thrive. In years past, the Warriors team, of course, Curry had his 30s, 40s. Of course, Klay had his game 6s. But it was the role players commanded by Draymond Green that got them where they needed to go, got where they needed to be. And right now, they don't have that. And right now, they have to bank on the antics of Draymond Green to get into the head of De'Aaron Fox, to get into the head of Sabonis, to dismantle the Kings psychologically so they could win the game because they don't have that veteran leadership to create offensive flow outside of Curry, Klay, on occasion Wiggins. They don't have it, and they have to figure out a way to win. It's going to be tough. It's tough to turn my back on Steph Curry and say they won't win a road game. But I don't believe they will win a road game. I think the Warriors will lose this in 7 because the Kings will win in 7. I think the Kings team are so impactful in the way that they gravitate towards their their fan base in Sacramento, and they win those games. They grind it out in Sacramento every single time, and we've seen that in this playoffs. They find ways to win. They find ways to dig deep, at home. And I think that actually it might not even go to 7. I think it may end in 6. I think it may end in 6 because the Kings, despite them losing 2 on the road throughout the season, they've been one of the better road teams in the NBA, if not the best. They have the best road record they made, I believe. It's going to be interesting how this plays out because they go back to Sacramento and have the Kings winning. I don't think Harrison Barnes has that same bad missed shot game. I think he's going to hold on to that and make those shots in Sacramento. I think he's going to hold on to that, make those shots at Oracle Arena. I think we're looking at a Kings team, and Lil, I said this on air, the Kings team could make an NBA Finals run, and they have the path to do it if they beat the Warriors. It all starts against Golden State because we look at what happens. If they beat Golden State, they play the winner of Memphis versus the Lakers, 2 teams that cannot run with Sacramento. And then after that, if they go to the Western Conference Finals, who will they might play? The Denver Nuggets, another team that cannot run with the Sacramento Kings. We saw what happened when Denver played the Golden State Warriors last year. They could not run with them despite them having the better record, having the team that apparently was supposed to be better than Golden State. This is a scenario where it's not about talent. It's about pace in the Western Conference. And what team can run with the Sacramento Kings if they beat the Warriors? The only team that can run with them is the Warriors. And that is why I think, in my opinion, the Kings will win the next 2 games just based upon not knowing what these young guys are going to do in the Golden State.
Look, my question to you, I guess, right, is when you look at this game 4, right, and you reflect back to the final minutes of the 4th quarter, it seemed like even other games in this series, it seemed like De'Aaron Fox was the main go-to guy in the 4th quarter, right? Obviously, we know that he's clutch. But when the shots are not falling, who do you trust? Because in this game yesterday, only 3 Kings, I believe, scored in the final 9 minutes of the game. Only 3 Kings. And of course, one of them was Fox. Of course, we know that, right? So who do you trust to help out De'Aaron Fox? Because I'm not seeing it late in these games. It seems like it's the Fox show. And I understand he's going to make some shots. He'll probably win game 5 that way. Close game. He takes over the 4th. He outdo Steph. I get it. But when shots are not falling and he passes it up to Harrison Barnes like he did yesterday, who's going to knock down them shots? And do you feel confident that they will knock down them shots?
Well, I think, that's what they got Sabonis for. He's having an uncharacteristic series. And I think that's something that you could say for sure. I think the last 2 games, you can make the argument it was a very physical game for Sabonis where he's getting grabbed by Kevin Looney. He's getting grabbed on by Draymond Green. He's getting grabbed on by almost anybody that's in the paint and no whistles being blown. I'm not saying he needs to be saved by the whistle, but if it's a non-basketball play, that's a foul. Literally, he's getting grabbed as he's driving into the paint and the whistle's being swallowed. Nobody is blowing a whistle. So it's going to be interesting what happens with Domantas Sabonis because he needs to show up. The foul calls or non-foul calls are not the argument here. It's more of his ability to finish with contact, with physique. But it seems like he's looking for the foul call. He's trying to draw in a foul and he's not getting it, and he's being deterred by it. So I think Sabonis needs to be that guy he was throughout the entire season in the 4th quarter in order for all of this to work. It all starts and ends with him because if he's not dominant, it puts more toll on De'Aaron Fox to make magic happen. He missed a lot of open jumpers last night, De'Aaron Fox, late in the quarter. But we saw it. He was missing a lot of shots. He made some big ones that went up 125, 126, but he missed a lot of easy ones. But I think that's due to the fact that he has to do a lot more when guys are not showing up. So I'm expecting Sabonis to be who he is, which is a brute force in the paint, so that it opens up for De'Aaron Fox.
Right, but see, here's the thing, right? We saw a glimpse of pressure in this game 4 in the 4th quarter. And all we saw was Sacramento turn over the ball. See, that's what pressure does. You could be talented, you could be great, but when you're dealing with pressure in a game 7 pressure, right? you're going to see them do things that's uncharacteristic. That's why championship pedigree counts. So when you see this young team under pressure, you're like, wow, what happened? What are they doing? That's how it happens. So I saw a glimpse of it. I don't need to see more. When I say Golden State going to win in Game 7, because I know this is going to be a tight series. It's going to come down to the clutch. It's going to come down to the last wire. When it comes down to the final minutes, I trust Golden State. And even though we said Steph Clay, listen, Andrew Wiggins, I know you mentioned him briefly. He's a dude. Poole can make a shot here or there. They got players over there now. Let's not get it twisted. They did win a championship last year. The players on that team, although they wasn't part of the full dynasty, they got championship pedigree. They played under pressure before and won a championship. So this is a legitimate team that can play under pressure. Sacramento is not that team. So in a Game 7, we're going to see them be uncharacteristic. We're going to see them unravel. And that's what me and Cuzzo was basically trying to say. It's like when it comes down to the last final minutes in the fourth quarter of a Game 7, we're going to see Golden State perform as a champion, and we're going to see Sacramento perform as young team. That's it.
And my last point is that's why when you smell the blood in the water, you got to attack. The defending champs down. You got to count them out. And they missed a golden opportunity with the suspension of Draymond Green, number one. That was the first opportunity they missed. They could have went up 3-0. Ain't nobody coming back from that, even the Warriors. And then the shot. They had an opportunity on the road to win. And Harrison Barnes had an opportunity to send home, not send home, but go up 3-1 and potentially send home the team that let him go. He didn't make the shot. So now you're giving the Warriors new life after life, heartbeat after heartbeat. And now that you gave them a vessel and a heartbeat, another heartbeat, they can breathe. You don't want the Warriors to breathe.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.